prayers. I was discussing about the video. It says focus. But one thing that I can relate to this morning is he reminded me to know why I started in the first place. Why did I start the book club? I started the book club because I figured out that say, if you want to hide something from the people, put it in the book. And I said, what else can I offer my generation? Now that I still have my 120 years going on, what else can I offer that can bring value to human beings? Since I have a mentor outside of here that always talk about self-education, I say, can I only self-educate myself? I say, no. Let me create an environment that allows us, other people, to get the same interest. That is how book club came to be. Now, that being said, we're just reading books. This is a social club. Disclaimer, is open to the public. We're not representing any organization. We're not representing any company. We're not representing any product. We are people that have an open mind, and collectively we want to help the blind to see, according to Eric, the ignorance to understand, and build a community of like-minded people that want to change their world through the books. And knowing the story and the history of those who have gone before us, it's easy for us not to make mistakes. And that's why we not lose focus. Even if one person show up, we will read books. Because it feels good to read books. It strengthens your inner mind. It strengthens your focus. And it takes away from distraction. And when you are not distracted, guess what? You lose focus. You will not lose focus, sorry. And if you don't lose focus, you're going to accomplish much. So thank you so much for coming to another book club day. Wow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see some people shining. Do you know one thing? Some people are still sleeping though, right now. Why? They say we're sleeping. You know, Saturday and Sunday I'm off. I sleep in. You sleep in and you sleep your life away. All right, who can tell me where we stopped the last time? So, next we're going to page 71. Am I correct?
I think it was 69, was it?
It's
Yeah, we
71.
finished. We ended at 69.
It's 71.
We're starting at
71.
71. Yes, we're starting at 71. All right.
It
All
should
right.
be
Well, Dr.
75.
Ruth,
It
no,
should be
I think we're
75.
finished. We're supposed to be starting on page 75.
Let me see. I know I have a date beside it.
Okay,
Yes, I did the same too.
Okay. Yes, I have a date.
75.
Yeah, 75. Thank you for my good people. All right, 75. A different look at the monetary value of a college degree. This one is interesting for me. Monetary value of a college degree. Who wants to read? Who wants to read? Anybody can read.
I can offer Dr. Ruth. This is Catherine. If
All
there's
right.
no one else, if there's no one else who wants to read.
Don't worry about anyone else for now.
Okay.
You're here, you're your own right now.
Okay.
All right, Miss Catherine, I'm making you a co-host.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Joy, I'm making you a co-host. And Mindsetters, I'm making you a co-host. It's like only women like to read. Where are the men? They're still sleeping in. Huh? All right, Miss Catherine, go ahead. Wake them
Okay,
up. Tell them to come and read. Wake your men up. I know there are men in some houses right now. They have not all gone to war. War have not started to the point that all the men have gone to war. So wake them up. This is our own bullet right now. Go ahead.
Okay, so page 75, a different look at the monetary value of a college degree. Some 36 years ago, when I was just getting established in the life insurance business, we were, of course, all thoroughly indoctrinated with needs selling. One of those needs was funding for college education for the client's children. It was all assumed that the children would go to college. If there was any question as to the value in monetary terms of doing so, we were taught to point out how much more the average college-educated child would earn over a lifetime of work compared with the average child who did not get the college degree. I forget what that figure tossed around at that time was, but in recent days, I was remembering that mental exercise and decided to revisit the assumption. First of all, I have the distinct feeling that the college degree is extremely overrated in its value. Witness the number of people you know who have a degree and thus feel that they are educated, but other than the degree, there is very little evidence of the fact. In a recent issue of a publication at Auburn University, Dr. Herbert Rothfeld, a professor in the Department of Marketing and Transportation, had this to say. I entered a doctoral program because of a deep and intense curiosity, a love of learning, and a pathological enjoyment of reading. Today, as an educator, I want to inspire students to learn, to teach my students so that they could teach others. But since the subject of my scholarly passion is business, my students only want what they see as job certification. Many want credits but don't want to learn. Since learning requires involvement of the students, a basic problem of modern education is the students who don't want to be in school. High school is something to be endured. They go to college only because a parent or school counselor told them to go. Unfortunately, as students are told to go to school, it is never emphasized that learning itself has value. Today, even doctoral students go to school not to learn, but to get certified. So it should not be a surprise that so many graduates at any level fail to exhibit interest or inspiration in learning. And many faculty believe that business practitioners have more credibility than anyone on campus. It is amazing how many people got into business education not because of a love of scholarship, but because they were not very successful as business professionals. Now, some former practitioners can be and are very respected scholars. Shifting from business practice to education can be a satisfying shift of career. But it is a business school, not a business. Too many former business practitioners do not do any new thinking once they leave the business world. Talk of training students for the jobs they themselves once held and demand that as business educators who worked, they deserved a status they never possessed in business. These men and women never learned to think and do not expect such strange behavior from students. It is no surprise that the graduates, like faculty, often leave with a worldview as expansive as that of a pet goldfish. Professor Rothfeld went on to quote IBM Chief Executive Louis Gerstner Jr. at a two-day National Education Summit in Palisades, New York. Business leaders do not and should not want business education to be vocationally oriented. It is not in the interest of business leaders to turn public schools into vocational schools. We can teach them how to read balance sheets. What is killing us is having to teach them to read and compute and communicate and to think. Rothfeld concludes his article by saying, "I await the time when business education will be a respected activity for a hard-working scholar, instead of a training ground for future anti-intellectuals and home for retired executives who came to campus so they could themselves quit thinking." The above is a pretty strong statement about the condition of higher education in America, isn't it? And people are paying ever-increasing college costs to get a degree that is becoming less valuable. Dr. George Roche, former president of Hillsdale College, has a lot to say about this phenomenon in his book, The Fall of the Ivory Tower. If you have not done so, I urgently recommend that you read this book. One of these days, the consumers are going to wise up to the fact that they have been conned and the house of cards is going to come crashing down. When the perceived value of anything has no real basis, a return to reality is inevitable. A lot of the idea that everybody needs a college education has its roots in the period just after World War II, with the advent of the GI Bill. Here came the huge number of students to get their degrees, when the main reason for this event was the fear of government powers that all these servicemen returning to civilian life are going to wreck the economy. We have to do something with them. Since that time, Parkinson's law has taken effect. A luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity. And so now the cry is that everybody deserves a college education. Please notice that the cost of doing so has risen much faster than inflation in the rest of the economy. This is always the pattern when government gets involved in anything. Let's contrast this phenomenon with that of the development of the personal computer, a field in which government has had a minimum of meddling. This is until early December 1997, when Microsoft Internet Explorer. Quality and performance have increased so rapidly that whatever you now have is obsolete within a year or so, and the prices have gone down dramatically. So much for the major reason for looking askance at the value of a college degree. Now, let's look at the monetary value of the college degree as compared with an alternative, teaching the child the value of learning banking through the use of dividend-paying whole life insurance. To do so, I'm not going to put a monetary value on the degree as was done in our presentation some 30-odd years ago. I am going to let you decide for yourself as to what a reasonable figure might be. Just compare that figure with the results of my recent study using a major mutual company's illustration software to construct the case for learning banking instead. First, I assumed that the usual cost of the college degree is $20,000 per year for 4 years. From what information I can gather, that seems to be the case. So I used this same figure to put into a high premium policy, in this case $6,500, to a base life paid up at age 65 policy, plus $13,500 into a paid up additions rider on an 18-year-old male. This premium total of $20,000 was used to pay for 4 annual premiums of $20,000 each. After the 4 years, dividends were used to pay the base premium for the duration of the policy, the classical premium offset illustration, and so there was no further outlay. Next, I assumed the insured retired at age 70. I no longer let people get away with the assumption of age 65 for retirement. It is just not going to work in the future. And surrender dividend credits.
Hold on, Ms. Catherine. Who agrees with the author of the illusion of age 65 retirement? Who agrees?
I do. I agree.
So he's not just making things up, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I agree too.
I fully agree too.
Okay,
All right,
so
go ahead.
based on the current dividend scale of this company, the cash values at age 70 were illustrated to be 2,457,303. Withdrawing dividend credits alone of 145,000 per year for retirement purposes could be sustained indefinitely. And assuming the insured lived until age 85 means that he had withdrawn an income total of 2,175,000. If he died at that time, the projected death benefit is now 3,279,018. In all honesty, I don't believe that the college degree would produce comparable financial results. This scenario assumed that the insured simply let the insurance company manage the cash values throughout the entire illustration. If the insured were taught to finance his automobile purchases through the policy, that is 21,450 financing package every 4 years, beginning at the first of the 5th year, and paid back to the policy that which he would have had to pay a finance company, and that is 6,500 per year for 4 years, then the results improve significantly. In this case, 2,698,593 in cash value, and the income from dividends would be increased to 150,000 per year. Total income of 2,250,000 by age 85, plus a death benefit of 3,848,202 if death occurred at that time. In this example, there were no policy loans at all. The 21,450 automobile financing packages were all withdrawals of dividend credits. The repayments were actually premiums to the base policy. By the way, if the insured was female, the above results improve even more. In this case, 2,959,517 cash value at age 70, dividend income of 150,000 per year, for a total of 2,250,000 in income by age 85, plus a death benefit of 5,233,432 if death occurred at age 85. The death benefit continues to increase if death occurs later. So, in evaluating just the financial benefits of the college degree at a cost of 80,000 versus putting that same 80,000 into high premium whole life insurance, I don't believe the degree is as valuable. As a matter of fact, the probability of the college-educated person ever learning the benefits of banking through the use of whole life insurance is not very good. He will be exposed to some professor teaching him that whole life insurance is a very poor place to put money. It will take a lot of effort to get this notion out of his head because unlearning is more difficult than learning. I think that Professor Rothfeld might explain it. He has been trained instead of having learned to think. Please remember that I am not against higher education. To the contrary, I believe it should be a lifelong activity. But observation leads me to conclude that we have a lot of people in America with degrees, but not many of them are educated. Following the illustration on John Q, student, is an illustration on Susie Q, student. Susie doesn't go to Vanderbilt or some other college of equal stature and then to medical school. It is very important that a large proportion of medical students today is female. Not that spending the money to teach Susie banking through the use of dividend-paying life insurance instead of sending her to Vanderbilt and then to medical school eliminates the need for expensive malpractice insurance that is essential in a medical practice, eliminates the need to establish a retirement plan of any kind, eliminates the concern for whether Social Security will survive or not. It won't. If she is determined to be around the medical community, all she has to do at the end of the 8th year is call the life insurance company and borrow enough money. She has access to 339,713 at the time to buy 8 luxury cars, take them to the medical school and lease them to the professors there, because all of them drive that sort of car, and all of them are leased from some source. 8 months later, she can add another car to the fleet just from lease income. 7 months later, another. 6 months later, another, etc. In a short while, she can enjoy a very good income just from the leasing business, in addition to the figures you see.
Wow. Guys, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. It's comparing the value of the money you pay to go to school. If you have put it in a cash value of life insurance, the value is going to bring back to you. That does not mean he's saying that classroom education is wrong. I'm educated, you are. All of us on this call are. But if you can tell ourselves the truth, if you compare the monetary value, does it really give you that? Most people are graduate today, they don't even have a job. They can't find one. Okay? So one of my graduate college, one of the things that one of their slogan is social impact. They try to emphasize when you leave school as a scholar, it's not for you to go get a job, it's for you to make a social impact. But the question is, how many students are translating that content of the importance of social impact? How are you making it? As an employee, you're leaving a job, you're graduating from school, which I heard the word graduate now, because when you say graduate means that you know it all. So we stop reading. We stop educating ourselves. But in essence, I would think that the reason we went to college, they gave us certificate to give us permission to study for the rest of our lives. Especially if you're a graduate, if you're a PhD holder, you have one doctorate degree or the other. You know, we engage in dissertation. We submitted that dissertation. But if you come back to think about it, do you know that what we actually did is that we went to school to learn how to write research, how to engage in new knowledge. For most of you that I used to tell some of my students or colleagues of mine that there are 4 scholarships, according to Boyard, B-O-Y-E-D. There are 4 scholarships: scholarship of discovery, scholarship of integration, scholarship of application, and scholarship of teaching. Even though most people always want to integrate, think that scholarship of discovery is the same as scholarship of teaching. No, they are not. Scholarship of discovery is those who went to school to read that and copy it. Their focus, philosophy is to get new knowledge. Integration as an application. And most people that went to school to read one doctor of accounting, doctor of medicine, doctor of nursing, all those career terminal degrees falls under scholarship of discovery and integration, scholarship of application and integration. Okay, then of course teaching. Everybody knows what teaching is. So for those who went to school to do scholarship of discovery, when you're finishing that dissertation, what are they telling you? Is now I'm beginning to connect. Then I did not. I'm going to tell you the truth. They actually help you go through to learn how to engage in research, which is only divided into five categories, only 5. You said I find a problem. All of us now find a problem. We can read. That's the social problem. They told you chapter 2, go to the literature and find out what Dr. Joy have said about this problem that you find, social problem, and make it a scientific problem. They come to chapter 3. They say, come and tell us how you're going to build this house and get a new knowledge to contribute. From there, they say, after you contribute, this is what you say you're going to do, template. This is my roadmap. I'm going to do A, B, C, D, chapter 3. Chapter 4, they say, okay, now you say you're going to do, go do. Action, chapter 4. Go do. After you finish doing, they say chapter 5. Come and summarize what you did. Did you actually work or not? If it works, what contribution? Nobody gets any new knowledge. It's contribution. That's the word. Now they say, yes, you pass. You were able to do it. Now go and start doing. That's when we close our book. And now start working. No more doing. Even though you graduated with certificate to go learn how to do. But that's when we close. I'm not parading myself. I have a PhD. But you have never done nothing after they gave you that certificate. Again, what is the value, monetary value of college degree? That's what the chapter is talking about. He's not saying that we that went to college are wrong. But the question is, are you bringing the same value back to your home, to your parents, to your uncle, to your father, who trained you with that degree and spend their night? Are you giving them monetary value back? Are they still paying your house rent? Are they still giving you food? Think about it. Education is good, but we have to engage in self-education. That's what we're doing now. Okay? Whatever discovery or whatever knowledge, scholarship you have, if you can expand your mind, and be ready to engage, when you graduate from that bachelor's, that master's, you master either that PhD, that degree, whatever it is, my people, is no more to close the book. They just gave you a certificate to start. They gave you a certificate to start learning for the rest of your life. That is where we miss the call. They gave us the certificate. We use 100,000 to do graduation party. And we are back to ignorant people because we stopped learning. And that is why this author is trying to compare our college degree in monetary value to say, hey, sorry, that degree, that money I paid, I don't think you're giving us the value back. Think about it. Yes, Dr. Vida.
I am so sorry, Dr. Ruth and every ladies and family. Good morning. I can't come on the on a camera right now, but I have contribution to do. I'll pay you for you. I'll pay you 5. This is money that is worth doubling it. So, in part, and piggybacking what you were saying, on page 77, and I mean, I'm loving this book. I wish we can go back and read the whole book again. He says right here, right? Because most of us on this platform are highly educated, but our education is crippling us. And he's saying right here, right? Please remember, I'm not against higher education. On page 77, I think the last paragraph. Please remember that I'm not against higher education. To the contrary, I believe it should be a lifelong activity. But observation leads us to conclude that we have a lot of people in America with degrees, but not many of them are educated. Meaning, I'm number 1. I am educated in doing what I do, but I'm not educated to understand how to make money and make the money work for you. All we're doing is running around the corner every day, making money, and we're losing the money. So then again, he goes up to say here that, right here, it will take a lot of effort to get this notion out of our head. Because on learning, this is the difficult one. On learning that come to America, go to school, become a nurse, become this and make money is what we need. It's so hard, but we need to start to unlearn that the education is one thing, but what are we learning and what are we doing with the knowledge? We need to start not just to get education, getting education, but understanding what we are using our time and our knowledge for, and go out to the society and educate them to know that you don't need to you don't need to carry 10 jobs, 4 jobs to make money, but you can make your own money work for you by understanding and getting the knowledge of how to make money and not to lose the money. This book, this author is great. It's great. Thank you so much. That's my contribution this morning.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, that's why I like to quote it in all my teachings. Do you all see my screen right here? I go everywhere. I will never talk to people without talking about it. He said the illiterate of the 21st century will not be for those who cannot read or write. I want you to think about it so deep. But those who cannot learn, unlearn. Guys, it's
Unlearn.
not easy to unlearn. Imagine you're 50 years old, you're 60 years old. You have had this theory that money is not everything. They preach it to us. They drive us in the car. They tell us to hate everybody who has money. That those who have money are those who have done some evil thing. That's why they got money. We resent them. We don't want to connect with them. Of course, what you resent, according to T.F. Ecker, what you resent will never come your way. They come to church. For those who go to church, we call them sinners because we read some Bible somebody wrote for us that says, A, money is the root of all evil. But the same Bible said, money is what? Money is the answer, right? Who can quote me? What does the Bible say about money?
Money is a
Money
defense.
answered all things.
Money
Money
answered
answered
all
all
things.
things.
The
The
same.
love of money is the root of all evil. The
Okay,
love.
thank you,
We
Pastor.
love it
Thank
above
you.
God.
Thank you. The love of money. But do we read that love of money? Just like the people that read a portion of the Bible that said, you will eat the fruit of the land. Is that what the Bible said? No. The Bible said, if you're obedient, you say, if you are obedient, you will eat the fruit of the land. But we only want to say, oh, the Bible said I will eat the fruit of the land. It said, if you are obedient, you will eat the fruit of the land. You know, we quote the one that suits us and remove the other ones. Guys, you got to unlearn. And I think there's a evidence out there that says what we know is 45% inherent and 55% learn. So we have the capacity as a human being, as an adult, to unlearn up to 55% of what we think we know today. Maybe you can just do 10% on learning. It will do you favor. And that is why, as an adult, we are caught up with analysis paralysis. We analyze and analyze to the point we paralyze ourselves because of the classroom. Go to the classroom today. Someone doing physics is still reading books written 20 years ago, 30 years ago, which is an evidence that says new knowledge comes to light 10 years after, 15 years after. So my people, we have to be current with current ideologies. Come out of what you think you know. Don't let it. One lady invited to the book club today. Let me show you what he told me. Let me see if I can. He said, hello, Dr. Ruth, how are you? Thank you for the invite. I bet this is good. Sorry, it's still on my radar. It's not in my radar to read books at this time. Oh, it's not in my radar to be part of program. I don't know what you think but I wish you success. But I said, great, but the book club is not for doing anything. but to read for yourself, for your own consumption. He said, thanks, but I just have so much going on and not able to participate. Do you know that it's possible the result to the problem that's going on in her life could be what is in this book? It could be, I don't know. Everybody have their own issues. Okay?
If
I will
only she
say,
knows, Dr. Ruth. If only
how
she
wish, how
knows.
wish she knows. It's only take one day to come and get hope. Only one day. Okay? So what I'm trying to say, I'm joining the author's voice to say, we're not saying that college degree is bad. Don't get mixed that up. College degree is not bad. It's what you make out of the college degree. And based on my observation, the word graduation has deceived most of us. And getting that certificate and learning how to do stuff. And they gave us certificate and said, now you're qualified to do those things. Only for you to come out, you stop doing those things. And now we all become employees that carries orders and instruction and organizational policies and procedures every day. And now, if you're in the healthcare, they have this their house called clearance house, who tells providers what to do. It has to be within. This is the diagnosis. If you don't put this one, it's not going to work. Or go to the clearance house. They have cleared it. This is the new diagnosis. It's no more rooming method. It's not this. I used to be a nurse, to let you guys know. I'm also a licensed midwife. Let me tell you, before I came to Western world, I'm an immigrant in case you don't know me. I'm an immigrant. I came from Nigeria. Before I came to Western world, as a midwife, the things that we practice, I want to let you know what these things can do to people. If you give birth in my environment where I came from, where I was trained, the babies are put to breast immediately. To do what? To begin to take care of their colons, their intestine immediately. And the baby stays with the mom on the same bed. That's what we call rooming method. When I got to United States, I had my baby. I didn't tell them who I was. I was just monitoring to see. You're just new in America. You want to see this thing they have been telling us. I came. I remember I'm pregnant. I was not sick. Guys, pregnancy is not sickness. I was not sick. I was only pregnant. And I believe I is I in Nigeria. I is I in America. It hasn't changed. Right? So first of all, they put me on the bed. I said, why will you put me on the bed? I'm in labor, so I need to walk around. He said, no, they will put me on the bed. So I said, will the baby fall out if I'm walking around? I'm asking the question because they don't know who I am. They don't know I'm a licensed midwife with so many years of experience. So they didn't say anything. Me, I keep questioning these little children running around, calling themselves what they call themselves. So while I was lying on that bed thinking, is that what they told us? Is that not totally different from where I came from? Because I just came in a few months to give birth. I like, So while I was lying on this bed, I saw something in my hand. Somebody was trying to set up IV. They didn't ask me nothing. They didn't wake me up. With that illusion, that is the illusion. How do you call it? You are that transit. You're not sleeping, but you're not awake. You're just thinking in that. I saw that thing. I screamed. I said, what is that? Oh, they are trying to set up my IV in case I need a blood. I said, what? Not talking to your patient? Man, I screamed like a mad woman. Who's already in pain and you're adding more pain to me. But anyway, all said and done. It's time to deliver now. Hey, come, people, come and check. I'm ready to deliver. They said, no, it's not time. I said, how did you know? Did you check? But all said and done, I gave birth. They said they want to take the baby. I said, to where? Where are you taking the baby to? I said, put my baby to breast. He said, what? The breast is dirty. I said, dirty what? Go punish you. Give me my baby. If I can recall back and play that movie. They said, no, that's not how they practice. I said, I don't care what you practice. Give me my baby right now. Let me put this baby to breast. That is my own practice. I'm the mother. They try to argue. One of the people there say, oh, give her the baby, give her the baby. After I gave the baby breast, they came and took the baby and said, the baby will stay 3 hours away from me. From me? I said, hi, God deliver me. And they brought me cold water, ice water. I said, my mommy, where are you? Hey, God deliver me.
Chai,
Yeah.
that is opposite.
I'm talking about knowledge here. How other people can influence what is going on. Okay? So they finally brought the baby, and the baby is on the bed, separate. I said, give me the baby. Me and the baby will lie on the bed. The next day, I was waiting for them to give birth to my baby. They said they don't give birth. I said, really? I said, okay, can you give me just soap and water, hot water? By the time they come, I was giving birth to my baby on the sink. How they can go back and use that as a quality improvement in that organization? But then they come and give my baby bath in the sink. I love my baby and keep on the bed. It's not my first baby now. So are you going to tell me what to do with my baby? But what I'm trying to say, your environment. But now, let me tell you guys, remember I slept with my baby. They were not happy. 10 years after, this same organization came back and said they are doing remove method. Just because that African man did not document in the system what they were practicing. 10 years after that baby was born, that I was fighting to keep my baby with me. That could be a trigger for someone to say, what is this woman doing? Can we learn from her? 10 years after, somebody say, I came up with a performance improvement, rooming method. Nonsense.
Well, let me piggyback with you, Dr. Ruth. Now in New York State, they have a grant for the hospitals doing bonding. You give a
Can you
birth
imagine?
to a child, right there, they put the baby to the breast.
Can you
That
imagine?
is yes, to encourage bonding.
This is the
So,
practice of 40, 50, 60 years. People have been doing to today.
yes.
Yes,
Guy.
Dr. Ruth. This day we call it bonding, roaming in, no taking off the baby off from the mother again. 1
Bonding.
hour is the breastfeeding time. You deliver, we put the baby on you. Nothing is done for 1 hour. You just born with your baby.
But guess what? This is what a country, a nation has been practicing for more than 40 years. But nobody documented.
Centuries, doctor, centuries. Our
Centuries.
brothers, centuries, not 60 years.
So remember, that was education for our mother. It was not in the classroom. But because nobody documented, or they documented, they did not want to take it until it makes sure that it's from certain group of people. Guys, monetary value of college degree. Let's come back. College degree, the only thing not taught in college is money. And I believe that is why this person is making this comparison. So now, it's going to be hard, like he said. It's going to be hard to do what? To unlearning is the most difficult than learning. I think that Professor Rothfield might explain it. He has been trained instead of having learned to think. You're not going to force people to think, but the things around them can stimulate them to think. Fathers, mothers, brothers, and sisters, let's go back to the basis. You cannot promote education at home, self-education, unless you, the parents, are involved. And I'm going to tell you the reason all of us are struggling, especially the middle class, is because we're not learning. And that is why I love lawyers. Do we have any attorneys here? Lawyers. They call themselves learned gentlemen. Why? Because they are the one reading books. They are the only profession that after school, they bet on reading every single day to the point they now use it to decorate their office as part of their professional accolade. You see so many books. It's assumed they have read them. Some do, some don't. That's why they call themselves learned gentlemen. They say every other person is not learned. I agree. Because when we graduate, there's no more learning. But we are back now. It's a social problem. We are trying to fix it. And we allow anyone who wants to make it a scientific problem. You're welcome. You can call and collect samples from us, okay? We'll give it to you. Dr. Ike, go ahead.
Yes, good morning, Princess Dr. Ruth. Good morning, everybody. Again, we can't thank you enough. This gathering is more than reading books. We are learning too many things. We are learning about life. We are learning about ourselves. We are learning about the communities we came from. We are learning about the communities we are in. And, this is just invaluable. Thank you so much. I wanted to say something about, there's this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. On page 15, here's what he wrote. The power of our thoughts may never be measured or appreciated, but it became obvious to me as a young boy that it was important to be aware of my thoughts and how I expressed myself. I noticed that my poor dad was poor, not because of the amount of money he earned, which was significant, but because of his thoughts and actions. As a young boy having two fathers, I became acutely aware of being careful about which thoughts I chose to adopt as my own. Should I listen to my rich dad or to my poor dad? Although both men had tremendous respect for education and learning, they disagreed about what they thought was important to learn. One wanted me to study hard, earn a degree, and get a good job to earn money. He wanted me to study to become a professional, an attorney or an accountant, and go on to business school for my MBA. The other encouraged me to study to be rich, to understand how money works, and to learn how to have it work for me. I don't work for money, were his words. He would repeat over and over, money works for me.
Oh,
Yes,
I remember that paragraph.
that caught my attention because for me, I use myself as an example. I thought all the time that the more education I have, the richer I would get, only to find out that I was wrong. And I think it applies to some of us. If we really want to be financially free, if we want to achieve financial freedom, we have to learn about money. We have to learn how money works in this society. And now we have to learn how we can make money work for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, it depends on what are we learning. That is why I came up with a theory. If you don't learn financial system of the country or the environment where you are, and teach your children and your grandchildren, you will never achieve. Hear me out. You don't have to believe it. That's the truth. You can never achieve tax-free, cost-free, and stress-free retirement. It will never happen. The type of retirement you will enjoy as a parent determines the amount of knowledge that you promote in your house right now. If you like, be interested. If you don't like, don't be interested. No problem. You are on your own. But I'm happy and I hope that this environment, the reading club, can help you start what you missed. We missed it. It was a miss. And that is why I think Robert Kiyosaki is the one that wrote the Business of the 21st Century. And also he wrote another book that says, do you know that most people that have F in the class are the ones that own businesses and hire those who have A grade? Because they don't have the knowledge, the college degree. They fell and fell and fell out and went to the street degree. By the time you're graduating, they have built the industry based on their street degrees. And now they hire you to come and be the what? Bookkeeper, the audit, the CEO. You're parading yourself around as it is. But guess what? They are relaxing at the beach. Of course, they know how to be in the street. Why should they be on suit with you in the same office? They know how to be at the, that's how they are grown at the street. So the F student has to fell out of the classroom to do what? To open an industry to hire the what? The A student who knows how to wear suit and wear it very well. Do you not know that if you go to psychiatric hospital today, there are so many psychiatric patients. What is the, if you can link it, I'm a promoter of mental health. If you can link it to any student who is having A's, any day they fail any class, any day they fail any class, it's only going to take God's grace to take them out of psychiatric hospital. Because their life is channeled to A. If they don't have A, or God made mistake, they fail. I'm telling you, it's going to need medication to get them out of their normal life. They're not used to failing, which is what the college degree have done to us. They're not used to failing. But that is why in the real world on the street, they say that you learn by failing. So failure is not opposite of success. It's a pathway to every time you learn, you fail. It's supposed to be a lesson. But it's not to most people. So that's why you see some children, they are doing so well, A in their classroom. Now they decide to read medicine, law, and they go first year, second year, they fail. Guess what? To bring them back, especially, let me use medicine as an example. They failed that first part. Remember, they've been doing A's in the class. Now, everybody in the medical school are A student. Now, in that your level of A where you were, in this class, you're F. Now they can't cope. And they can't do anything else because all their brain and mind is, I want to be a medical doctor. But they can't even pass part 1. They spent 4 years, 5 years, 6 years trying to learn part 1. I have them here in this Dallas, Texas. Move forward, they cannot. Channel another area is either medicine or nothing else. But they are not able to maintain whatever standard the college degree have maintained. Now they become a psychiatric patient. And we're looking for medicine. That is the implication. That is the danger of what has been done. We have what it takes to fix it now. Let's fix it by the conversation that goes on in the house. Go to school, get a good grade, use your knowledge and change the world. No more go to school, get a good grade, get a good job, life is good. That is a complete fallacy. That theory does not work. That theory has failed the middle class. So let's change from the language we use at home. My son, go to school, get a good grade, use your knowledge and change the world. If all of us will start speaking those languages in our respective places, homes, maybe we'll begin, that could be small things. We don't need money to say that, right? Those are small things. There's a book, I read a book, I started changing it. I don't ask my children again anymore. If they come back from school, how was school? No. I said, what went well today? I read it somewhere. I started practicing it. What went well today in school? What did you not like that you could have changed? Who did you show out of kindness? Who made you feel bad that if you have the situation, you could have changed it? That's our new question. It's no more, how was your day? No, it's not how was your day. No thinking. Help them think. Oh, you went to work today. What went well? What could you have changed? Is there any room for improvement? Oh, you didn't show. Who did you maltreated bad? What makes you act that way? You know what it does? It begins to make them think. And tomorrow, what do you think they're going to do in school? They're thinking that mommy is going to ask that question once they walk into this house. Again, what we say, our words matters. Let us not dwell on that. But if we're going to achieve financial freedom, we must come back to engage in self-education. Classroom is not meant for it. And from today, do not despise those who are on the street. There's so much they know that you don't know. If you can avoid analysis paralysis, if you can avoid ego and come down to learn, those people will make you a better person. if you're willing to learn. Confidence. Confidence.
Good morning, Dr. Ruth, and
Good
good morning,
morning.
everybody. I'm
Good
calling from
morning.
Ohio.
Thank you.
Okay, so, well, one thing I have to say is, first of all, I don't know how I came across your group, but I would say that I was looking forward for today because the last time I was here, I remember I asked a question about something, but I didn't know how I clicked. I just saw something, and then I clicked, and then it brought me here, boom. And since then, I would say that I love every part of this WFG, even though
Oh,
I'm
stop right there. Stop right there.
That is God leading you.
Okay. Stop right there.
I
Confidence.
remember.
Okay. All
I
right. Go
remember. I'm
ahead.
fine.
Go
So I
ahead.
love every part of this meeting, and I will say that I'm not regretting anything actually. So that being said, I will ask that okay, let me not say that. I will say that later on WhatsApp to you.
Okay.
So what we were taught was actually wrong because we had a different mindset. There's this mindset of come up here, go into nursing, do this, do that, and boom, American dream comes. But actually, it's not. It's not. And a lot of our people are still in it. And I mean, when I say they are stuck, they are so stuck. If you're trying to tell them about this, oh my God, it looks like you are talking jabri. Like, it don't make no sense to them because they are not understanding what you're saying, and it's because of what we are taught. It's because of what we know, and I'm kind of concerned. How do we relearn? How do we make them to understand? Which better way can we take? Because it's really getting to me. You're trying to teach somebody something, and the person is doing as if he knows, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know. So again, is when you talked about when you were in the hospital when you gave birth. Me too. When I gave birth here, I was so confused because I had my first baby from Nigeria, and then now when I came over here, I gave birth. So many things were so different. They gave me cold water. They gave me cold everything. They get what I'm like. So what is this? I was trying to figure my head around the whole thing. I was not understanding the difference. I'm like, my God, which one is now the better one? What is the essence of the hot food that we used to eat to flush off the congealed whatever, and what the cold one? I was kind of confused, but like you said, I wasn't a midwife, so I can't really. I'm not coming from any part of knowledge, but I'm coming from the part of that I know this is what we used to do for people that give birth. So there was no knowledge around it. So, but it kind of got me stuck because I was not understanding the difference between what they are pricing. And then most of our people liked it because they were like, in our side, they just give somebody hot water. But these people, they just give you anything to eat anything. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. Let me not say anything because I don't know which one is the best now. But anyway, let me just drop here. I will chat you up on the other one, on the WhatsApp for the other one I want to say.
All right. So the truth is that the environment influences the knowledge that you receive and how you're treated. But when you have the knowledge of the people, for the people, by the people, your life will definitely be different. Okay? The thing is that what we're encouraging ourselves now is be able to speak up with the knowledge you have, the conviction that it works. Be able to advocate yourself, but you cannot advocate for yourself if you don't have that self-education. So all we're trying to push and encourage is what? Engage in self-education. Let it be part of your life. Don't just get stuck with this whole thing, college degree, you graduated, you stop. The essence of college degrees for they are giving you a certificate to continue to learn. They are making you a continuous student, but we stop. That is what the book said, long life learning. And that's what we preach. But it's being preached is not really practicalized. So let's get back to the basics. Thank you so much for sharing. Mr. Joseph. You're muted, Mr. Joseph.
Okay, sorry. Thank you for the privilege once again. What we have been exposed to is simply the fact. One, the so-called F students end up being the employers of labors, while the A are the ones doing the job. Reason is simple. Mindset. We believe that that's the way to go by getting the degree and looking for a good job. And the A students usually have the same problem you've talked about, because I have a live experience. I had a classmate back in the days when I was in college. He failed the course. He ended up in a psychiatric hospital, and he hasn't completely recovered as we speak today, because I relate with him even as we speak. And that's a big problem. So, more so, to change our trajectory in terms of learning, it's always very difficult, but we have to do it. And that's why, as human beings, we are supposed to be life students. You keep learning, unlearning and relearning. And that's the only way we can make it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That is why, do you know why it's good to be a student? A student is someone who's curious. They want to know all the time. That's why I tell them I'm a student. I have not graduated now. I have not. And I don't know if I'm going to graduate. Because the day you graduate, you stop learning. So tell yourself, I'm going to continue to be in the student mode, so that you have that curiosity to continue to learn. Okay? You continue to learn and you continue to learn. Now, what are we going to do? The problem is we, the parents. You tell your child. So before I started engaging in financial knowledge, of course, my normal knowledge, I'm someone that promotes mental health and suicide prevention in the community. One thing I learned was how to manage my kids, because I was privileged to be in a criminal justice environment. And I see 6-year-old in the jail, 9-year-old in the jail. And every day I go there and come back, I look at my children in the house. I said, how can I stop this? That in a country, a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, 12-year-old is in the jail. So I tell myself, as part of a mental health advocate person, that I'm going to start with the language I use. So I don't come back and tell my children they finish school, what's your grade today? I don't do that anymore. So one day I was in school, my daughter called, I was at work, my daughter called me and said, Mommy, she said, Mommy, I had 60. It was a score. And I jump up, I said, man, you did awesome. But she was crying on the phone. I didn't know what she thought I'm going to do. I said, you had 60. That is so amazing. Oh, we're going to have dinner today. Just wait for me, we're coming back. He said, Mommy, did you hear what I said? He said, I had 60. I said, I heard you very well. So get ready. All of us are going to eat out today. You have 60. Wow, that is amazing. Guys, the language we use as parents matters. Some children will not come back home because they have 60. Why? Because their parents say, if you don't have 100, do not come back to this house. You are building yourself. You're setting yourself for a failure. So now my children know it doesn't matter the score they have. They will come back to the house. We will celebrate the one they managed to have. Then now we'll sit down and strategize. How do we make sure that we get the remaining one next time? Do we have a room for makeup? Is the language we use in our homes that drag these children to psychiatric hospital? Because those that have 100, you celebrate them different. Those that have 60, you celebrate them different. How which we can celebrate anything, any atom of Sussex. Then now we sit down for those that have lower score. We figure out what happened. How can we make it and fix it? Can you ask your teacher, is there a makeup time? If there's no problem. Of course, my children know that college degree does not give you money now. This is the theory in the house now, right? But before now, What is the theory in your home? So if you're a parent here, if you're a father, a mother, your uncle, grandmothers, don't focus so much on the numbers. Focus on what this child knows. Celebrate the little effort they have made. And tell them it's not about the numbers. Did you actually understand the concept they are talking about? Let's try it and make it happen. I'm telling you, if we change our language, we'll begin to save these children. Me and you have patience. The current children do not have patience. They want drive-through. They want, what do you call it? Microwave. Microwave job, microwave food, microwave money, microwave everything. That is why they cannot take care of you in retirement if you don't teach them how the money system works. Because they're going to see you as a burden. And they will pack their load and disappear. Even the so-called home you want to pay off, thinking they will get it. No, they will abandon the home. They don't care. The home will disappear. Government will come back and take it because they will not pay the taxes after you pay off the mortgage. They won't pay the taxes. And government will foreclose your home. For what? For not paying taxes. So if you really want them to take over your inheritance, it starts with the knowledge, not with the money. Teach them how the system works. The economic system does not being taught in the classroom. If you have the policies that this book is saying to build your own banker, guess what? You're going to teach them how the policy system works. Because the day you're not there, maybe you're dead, or death is even better. Your cognitive function is not there to manage that money. They will squander it overnight. And they will still abandon you, even though you work so hard to build a lot. Ifediora.
Thank you, Dr. Ruth. Good morning, Dr. Ruth, and good morning to everyone. Efilomo. But anyway, thank you. You tried. God bless you, man. Yeah, I
Bless
just
you.
want to add to what you've been saying. First of all, thank you for making it possible for us to at least talk a little bit about mental health, even though, yes, we're here for the book reading, but it's still part of it. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just want to mention because I'm still in the mental health world. I'm a therapist. And coming to the US, first of all, I think it's the narratives, the things we were taught by our own parents too. I
Yeah.
remember those days growing up, it's either you are a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer. Those three options were given to you. If you didn't fall into those three options, it's like you're going to be a failure. So a lot of us grew up with that mentality. Coming to the US, we want to force that on our children. Not to say those things are not good, they are good, but the idea, like you said, the way you relate with your children, really help them to have a sound mental health. Because in my field of job operation, I see a lot of kids. I'm not going to mention the community. A lot of them come with psychiatric mental health issues because of, again, the home and what they are forced to believe, what they are forced to do. So you see children at 18, 19 already having mental health issues, and they don't even know when they're going to recover from it. So I believe what Dr. Ruth is telling us, as especially we from the diaspora of Africa, to see how we can work with our children and just to make them to be problem solver instead of just putting them in a box. No, it's not putting them in the box. Giving them options, but of course we're directing them, giving them that opportunity to think outside the box, and also for them to thrive in their mental health. I just wanted to add that. Thank you, Dr. Ruth.
Thank you, Ms. Ifediora, right? Is that correct? Is that how you say
Efelomo.
Ifediora? So, by the way, if you're mental, if it's a therapist, connect with me off here because in May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I did
Okay,
do a
that's great.
symposium. I would like to have you as one of our speakers. So text
Great.
me
Thank you,
offline.
ma'am. All
Okay,
right.
but to come back to what she said, it's true. One would say, yes, our parents taught us because they didn't know better. That was part of the slavery part and theories, right? They didn't know better. But now we're beginning to uncover the damages that have been done. The biggest slave was the one, is our brain, right? It's no more the chains. The chains has fallen off according to the song. For those, if you're a slave like me, If you come from a slavery part, if you're not, don't worry, you may not understand what we're talking about. But it's linked to this, okay? So I apologize ahead of time. But it's no more the chains. The chains has fallen up. It's now the slavery mental. There's a song that is it the Jamaican artists that talk about it? Mental slavery, right? So we're still there. And it's because of that mental slavery we're still in what they call neocolonialism. Go read what that means. Neocolonialism. Okay? So we're still slave to some level. But I tell myself, I am out of slavery. I'm going to make sure I enslave everything inside of me and everything inside of everybody in this house. Okay? So yes, the language our parents use it, but let's stop using it. Give them options. That is why there's a language all of us use. If you use it, put a 1 in the chat. Your child just do something. What do we usually say? Why do you do that? See the word why. It's the most dangerous language ever around us. Why? Your child is walking and they kick the bottle of water is spilled. And you ask them, why did you do that? They don't know why. That word why requires someone to defend themselves. Did they learn that thing? We don't use why in my house. WHY is your biggest enemy. Because now I have to look for a way to defend. Why that child? The child have to find a way to defend. Why did you get 60? Why did you get 40? Don't you see your classmates who are getting 100? Why? What if you can ask what happened? It's not easy. It's not easy to change that word why. Because even some people say, why I'm in this business? Why I do this? Meanwhile, they are describing what and how, step by step. So if you can tell yourself from today, I'm going to start asking, oh, you keep, what happened there? When you say what happened, it guides you through step by step how to narrate. Oh, I was coming down from the step. I did not see the bottle and my leg kicked it. Is that not what you were asking? But it came in the place of why. Now the person is trying to defend themselves. And they cannot defend themselves. You see them as lying. So tell yourself from today, I'm in mental health. That's where I learn all this. If you tell yourself, I'm not going to use the word why, but rather what. What happened? Mr. Roscoe, I see you're wearing blue shirt today. What happened? How did you get to this process? Not why. They can't defend themselves. Give them opportunity to give you narrative of what happened. My son, what happened that you came back late? Honey, what happened that you did not meet us in dining table? Brother, what happened? I see lately you've been losing weight. What did you do? Not why. Why is this defensive? You're trying to put them in a box. They can't come out because they're looking for a way to cook what you want to say. So tell yourself from today, it's not easy. Even till now, I still practice it. My children, why? I don't know. See, these are no. I don't know what. When you tell yourself, I don't know, you shut your brain from thinking. Oh, we don't have money. If you read his book, or even the one that Dr. Ike read, there are things you're not going to say. I don't have money. Why? I don't know. When you say I don't have money, you shut your brain from thinking. Rather, it's how do we get this money to fund this project? How? When your children say it, you say, come back. Don't say I don't have money. It's how? When you ask the question, how? That's when you start thinking. You're getting your brain to think. But you will say, I don't know. Guess what? You shut yourself down. Oh, who saw? Do you know where my car key is? I expect my children to say, Mommy, let me go check. Don't tell me I don't know. You don't know, you don't care. It's what is impacting us in money. I don't have money. How does I don't have money translate to having money? If you like, say I don't have money from January to December, you never have money. What if you can say, how do we get money? Do we start online business? Because if we are doing this same work every day, and yet we don't have money, we can afford $50, $20. What can we do? How? In the morning, they ask you, you say, I don't have money. In the afternoon, I don't have money. In the night, meanwhile, you're watching television 12 hours, 4 hours. You're sitting in front of television watching champion balls. Meanwhile, your child said, get this, say, I don't have money. Honey, come, let's figure this thing out. I see that you need money for shoes, right? How do we get this money? How much it is? Honey, you are looking for Louis Vuitton bag. They say it's 4,000. How do we get it? How do we get this $4,000? Now you see conversation start, right? You begin to think. I don't have money. I don't know. Why? You put people, it kind of cripple you right away. I guess, I don't know. Miss Pat, go ahead. I'm not a preacher, but I feel like I can change everything. But let's keep going. Miss Pat. Miss Pat. All right. Dr. Joy.
Okay, my question is in this page 76. Okay, when he was comparing spending that 20,000 tuition fee for 4 years, he said instead of doing that, he put it to buy a base paid up policy. That's a high premium policy. I'm really interested in understanding what he did here. You know, so who knows, maybe we can learn a thing or two about this.
So you're on page 76, paragraph.
Is that, if you go from the top, the second part of it, it says, first, I assume that the usual cost of college degree is 20,000 per year for 4 years.
Okay. From what information I can gather, this seems to be the case. So I use this same figure to put into a high premium policy. In this case, 6,000. So let me tell you guys how they plan for children's college. Okay. So in America and Canada, the elites plan for their children's college. Okay. The elites, most of them don't use some kind of internal revenue codes. Okay. They start using cash value of life insurance from day one for their children. But they use it for college. I'm just going to give you a scenario that's very close, but not exactly what he's putting here. But I'm going to tell you how he came up with 6,000 something, blah, blah, blah. So when they give back to their children 15 days on Earth, they understand how the system works. Remember I said the elite, the 1%. So when you give back to a child today, they're 18 years, right? They're going to go to college. So most of them, if you're in US, they call it 529. In Canada, I will remember what they call it, but they are the same.
RESP.
RESP, thank you. Okay. SP. So that's what they call it. So let me tell you how the elites do. They will find out what it takes to send a child to 4-year college. In America, the average 4-year college is about 100 to 112,000 for 4 years. For private, that is public. For public is about 250 something thousand 4 years. So they give back to their child 15 days. They open this cash value. Remember what the author said. Open a policy on yourself and as many people you have what? You have insurable interest on, including your children. You have insurable interest on your kids. So what they do, they calculate about 115, right? Let's say it's 115,000 to send a child to 4-year college. What did they do? They did 115 divided by 18, which when that child will be 18 years. So what did they give them? 6,388. So that's how that calculation came by, whatever you use it for. Don't be caught up with all those names put there. But I'm just trying to get you how he came up with that 6,000 something. Okay? Now, they're going to get a cash value of life insurance where they're going to put every year, from that year that child was born, 6,388 for 18 years. That's what they do. And now by 18 years, let me tell you what they do. When that child goes to college at 18, they did not take the money. They still leave that money to compound for the next 4 years. And they will not, that child will qualify for school loan because they don't have 529 or RESP. So when they apply for school loan, they will get grants and get stuff and also get school loan. When they tell you my child don't have school loan, that is what they're doing. Now, by the time this child is graduating by 4 years, instead of using 100,000 to do birthday party, a graduation party, meanwhile they owe 250 in school loan like me, they will not go to that cash value of life insurance. Remember, funding, becoming your own banker. They will not take that money and pay off that. So that child is graduating with zero loan. That's what they're doing. But those who are not aware, who are not educated, who don't know how the system works, they use what? 529 in US or what? RESP in Canada. So Dr. Joy, that is what he's trying to explain in that 76 somehow. Okay. Don't worry about all the names he called, because as at the time he was writing this book, the only thing that was existing was dividend paying cash value policy. There was no IUL those days. IUL came to be in 1995, according to is it Jack Thompson? What is his name? Okay. According to Patrick Kelly, IUL came to be in 1995, which is a modification of dividend whole life. Okay?
I'm
Because
sorry. Can you please show the book again?
which of them?
The one you just talked about.
No, I talked about from my head.
No, but you showed a book that you...
Okay, this one, where I'm talking about when the IUL came to be, right?
A retirement miracle. Okay.
Yes, Patrick Kelly. Yes. So if you look at chapter 5, it tells you when IUL came to be.
Okay.
So IUL is a modified. Remember there are two types of insurance in America and Canada, temporary and permanent. Every permanent life insurance is the same with modifications. And these modifications occurs over time based on the short form of the previous one. So that's why if you look at, I love that author right here, Patrick Kelly. I love him because he says the heading of that chapter 5 is the solution. And if you read it, I love the way, you would think all of them were in the same house when they were writing this. No, they were not in the same house. This is the way he started that chapter. After you read the other chapter, he said, the solution. So what type of policy could possibly come next? This is after he has described whole life, universal life, variable life, and all that. He said, we have seen an interest rate product. We have seen an equity-based product. What else can there be? Like I said, the third time is a charm. Since companies were no longer chasing... Can you mute yourself? I'm echoing. Please. Since companies were no longer chasing the next hot crediting method, I believe they were able to step back and really study what works and what didn't work with the previous two policy types, which is universal, variable, whole life, and all that. But all of them fall under the umbrella of permanent insurance, whether you're US or Canada. In Canada, there is no index universal life. They don't have it in Canada. So if you're in Canada, you actually want to leverage that. If you're a citizen, you have to come to US to get index universal life. Your 2 feet must be US for you to get index universal life. You can. But you have to be a citizen in Canada to do that. Okay? He said when they came up, and what didn't work with the previous two policies, And what they came up with was a blend of the two. A blend of the two. And not just any blend, the ID blend. The result, Index Universal Life Policy. And let me tell you, I love some of these authors. Let me tell you, these aren't your daddy's life insurance. These aren't what? Your daddy's life insurance. So it's not the whole life, you know, it's not the universal. This is the blend of the two. That's why the heading of this particular chapter is what? The solution. It was in a paragraph said this policy was introduced to the market around 1995. Okay? So, Dr. Joy, don't dwell so much in whatever language you use. Don't be confused. Just learn and figure a way how to make it work for you. Sit down and tease it and read it one by one. That's why I encourage everybody. If you're US and Canada, tell yourself, I'm going to get a life insurance license. If you don't know what is that, text me when we leave here. 469-487-3469. Why do I say everybody? I don't care whatever business you do. I don't care whatever career you do. You need to get a life insurance license. What's the reason? The foundation of wealth of these two countries are embedded in their life insurance. Everything you need to be successful in this land, to build your foundation of financial freedom, is embedded there. Is in that content that will cover what they call what? Types of retirement, social security, taxation, health, all the health insurance you have, all the life insurance, that is where it's covered. So don't wait for somebody to tell it to you. Go read it yourself and get a license. So that when you read these books, you don't think it's people's opinion. You can actually validate, because it's those laws that gives you what? That gives you the mirror that you use to evaluate anything else you're doing. It's a choice. If you don't want, no problem. You're going to meet, I'm a licensed financial professional. I have that license. You don't want to do, you come, I will only give you a tip of the iceberg. It's only when you do it yourself that you have the whole picture. Or else you go to social media for 2 minutes video. 2 minutes. You make a decision over your life based on 2 minutes presentation that a 20-year-old is doing, 23-year-old is doing, because there's an AI. And it tells you, this is wrong, this is not wrong. No, how do you know? You got to know the law in order to look at the mirror and say, this is what the law say. Guys, I know the law and I'm still reading the law every single day. You don't have to believe me. You just have to help yourself. Roscoe.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruth, for the information. I wanted to echo what you were talking about with the children. So I'm African American. I was born and raised here, and I was in the educational system as a teacher. I have a lot of degrees. I was in administration for over 10 years. So the system is created to teach our children to not think. This created them to follow the rules and not to ask any questions, but to become employers. So that's why it's so vital what Dr. Ruth was saying about the conversations we have at home with our children, because I taught in the inner city here in Memphis, Tennessee, one of the highest poverty cities in America. So our poverty rate is about 40%. We only have 10% who have a bachelor's degree in our city. So it's very crucial for our communities to have that financial literacy. And even with me as an African American, I'm taking this to my community, and at times they're looking at me like, what is this? I've never heard of this before, because we're always taught just, go to school, work a job, and then you'll be stable. So that's why we have to, everyone here, we have to change that narrative. So I just want to echo that what Dr. Ruth was saying, because as an administrator, that's what we were taught. We were taught the curriculum was to make them regenerate information, to pass the test, and move them along without any critical thinking skills. So we have to help them unlearn to relearn what's actually happening here in America. So thank you, Dr. Ruth, for all this great information.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Fee, how do you say your name?
Fanuel.
Fanuel.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from DR Congo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. It was good to see you last time, and Champion Ball was happy to see you. Yes. And my point I try to make is about, you say, the Exodus chapter 3, verse 7 say, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and I am come down to deliver them. So, we grew up, as everyone say, in this system. There's this bondage in head. So it's very harder to free everyone. But always, especially me, I have appealed to young generations. I'm 50 now. I've seen now young generation. Sometimes you go to them, try to plead them, please, even though you may not understand those things, they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. It's very sad. That my point is that we do whenever we can our level, because the world is so huge in our community, because this knowledge is never taught in school. And then, as always say, that this knowledge is taught in home. It depends on which home you grow up with. That's kind of my contribution. Again, thank you, Dr. Ruth. Thank you for, I don't know your parents still alive, or thank you for Papa or Mama giving birth to be a blessing to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love that. He has seen the suffering and he wants to go deliver them. So what I see about the young folks is that if their parents are not involved in the conversation, it's not going to happen. So if you see any young person, look for their parents. Sit down with them. It's going to take days and months. The children see. What we've been doing is follow my language, don't follow my practice. Do what I say, don't do what I do. But the children of nowadays want to do. If they see you doing it, it's working. So if you want the young ones to hear, you're going to start doing. They want to see the evidence of the right things. Because what they are practicing now is the wrong things they have seen around them. And the social media, the exploration of the social media have made it easy for anybody to see. People are flunking their Rolls Royce idea. I don't know whether they rented it for one day. They're flunking their private jet. They rented it for one day. And now your child, anything you're talking, he say, oh, if you go do this and do this, you get money overnight. Guys, there is no overnight money. Money starts, for you to make money, it starts with increasing your financial knowledge. And that's what we're doing here. You have to increase your financial knowledge, then apply. Then evaluate the result. You're going to fail in the course of increasing your knowledge and engaging and having financial freedom. You're going to fail. But remember, unlike the classroom that said failure is a crime, failure is part of your learning to becoming a better person. You learn from your failures. So it's your pathway to becoming free when you learn your lessons so you don't repeat the same mistake that brought you there. But rather, what is being shown is that those who fell have been castrated out of the community. Oh, he went to medical school, he fell, he can't do it. No. So everybody else that went and fell become depressed. Because in the house, the mother wake up in the morning. Look at you, your fellow mates are still in school. You're here, you're a failure. The father wake up, the same thing. The sister, everybody wake up. Oh, he's the only failure. When everything somebody hears is all negative, 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 what do you think they're going to produce? Negative. So failure is not a crime. It's pathway to your success. If you can sit back and evaluate and look at where you lost the focus, you only fell, or you fell because maybe there's some kind of distraction somewhere. That's why the video we watched at the beginning, he said Peter, when Peter focused on the prize, which is God, he was walking on the water according to what the book said, the book of the law, the Bible. But he said immediately Peter took his eye off the focus, what happened? He started sinking. So when you fell, what did Peter realize? He said, Master, help me. He realized he's sinking. He called for help. But we are failing. We didn't ask for help. Rather, we draw back. We now retract from everybody and now hide. You're hiding from those who are ready to help you. And those who are not willing to help you, which happen to be the parents, are here telling you negative things every morning, every evening. You're a failure. Since you cannot do nothing, why don't you drive me to work? Since you're a man to nothing, why don't you clean up this house? Let the people go to school. Those things doesn't seem right. So, sir, thank you so much. Parents, adults, we have a work to do. Some people say they go pray. If you like, pray from January to December. If you don't stand up and take action and change your mindset, rebuild your mind. The Bible says, renew your mind, right? Rebuild your mind. Associate with the people that lift you up, not the people that brings you down. You yourself begin to practice has to be positive. No matter how negative that environment is, try to find something positive in it. You will thrive. No matter how negative it is. We have more negative people than positive. Tell yourself, if you were 365 here this morning, tell yourself, if you can practice being positive, no matter what you see, start looking for something good out of there. Oh, my daughter, you couldn't pass that exam. That is okay. It's not all about the exam. I see that you're a very nice lady. Have you thought about modeling? Can you put your experience on the book as a writer? Can you do something different? Instead of bringing them down all the time, you want to say 5 sentences. All of them is all negative. You cannot amount to nothing. You went to school and failed. Who even know whether you marry? One night they don't have. I'm paying your school loan. I'm paying your house rent. Everything is negative. Haba. Frank.
Speak the truth. Speak the truth to them. They need to hear it.
All of us, including me. Frank. All right, Frank is not unmuting. Evelyn.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Frank.
Oh, thank you, Mama, for this great opportunity to talk. First off, I will start by buttressing your point, even though you said almost everything I wanted to say. Regards the redemption song, that the guy you said that sang emancipate yourself from mental slavery. That's Bob Marley.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's redemption song. He says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None will free us except by our own selves, by our own mind. None will free us except by ourselves, by our own mind. So, you see, it's all about knowledge. Like the previous person that said before you took over, that said that I saw your affliction and I'll come help you. How do you want us to have?
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
So who is telling you that is going to free you? At what point? What's the time limit to free you to have seen this your affliction? You see, now you're shifting the narrative or the blame that the Gen Z, they don't want to listen. Now, what do you teach them? You teach them to believe in a book that you always pick what favors you. What knowledge do you pass to them? What legacy are you passing to them? Except believing that there's a spirit somewhere that will assist you in time of trouble, which never happens. A spirit that will give you money if you call on him or her, I don't know. Now, we are trying to bring this to reality. And if you cannot deal with the situation, if you cannot connect to the positive consciousness to begin to solve problems, we are doomed. And that's why the Black communities, especially Africans, that's why we are here. That's what keeps us bound. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. We have our oil. Our Nigerians discovered their oil in the year 1955 before the independence. Singapore, they are still under colonization. Korea just got their independence. Malaysia, China was still struggling. China, we are eating grass. Dubai, you're seeing today, they came to borrow money from Nigeria. But Dubai was a desert. But look at all these countries today. So what made them what they are today? Knowledge. Knowledge about what? About reality. They are not believing, yeah, they may believe in whatever, but they put in work. They put in work, they acquire that knowledge. Knowledge is not what you remember. Knowledge is what you know. So what were we saying here right now? When we are blaming this generation or whatever or generation before based on we are not moving forward. But what knowledge you pass to them about financial literacy, about how to make it in life, how to survive, except believing. But everybody's scared to talk about it. The religion has put us bound, whether you guys like it or not. But that's the truth, and somebody has to say it. Today, look at the opportunity we are leveraging from. Like our host said, there's no amount of prayer that will solve it except doing what you know how to do, and you get the result you're supposed to get. So let's stop blaming them. These are the people you taught on how to believe in one spirit that will do something for them. They grew up with it. Today we are even you and I should tell ourselves the truth. Even when you know the truth, we are finding it difficult. We are now finding it difficult to unlearn that thing we were taught when we are growing up, because it has embedded in us. It is part of us right now. It is in our strings, in our bloodstream. So how do you unlearn it? That is the fact. Now it requires action. It requires action. It requires you do it and see result, because whoever does result matters in some cases. But myself, I learned what has been helping me in life today and has been helping people in life is not about the result, about the process. When you understand the process, that's the knowledge. From the process, from the knowledge, from what you acquire, I will give you better results. It's not about the process. Everything about life is process. Even the air you breathe. Let me explain a little bit before, so that nose. You started from nose, the process. Nose to epiglottis, from epiglottis to trachea, from trachea to bronchus, from bronchus to bronchialis, from bronchialis to the blood capillaries. That's how you now breathe in and breathe out and get life. The same way you plant seed, it grows. The same way a conception starts. It's process. Then that process will give you a result. If you don't understand the process, which is the knowledge, there's nothing. We are not going anywhere, and we cannot make it. So it's all about the knowledge. Do it, practice it like other animals. You don't tell the goats, they don't talk, they don't have vocal cord, but they learn from what their mothers are doing, their parents, what they learn from them. They don't have vocal cord. So what about us? You don't know about preaching. Everybody wants to preach. What Africans give to the world is preaching, religion. But look at us today. Others are doing practical. Others are doing process. And you want to pray because you don't want to work. You don't want to do the hard things. You don't want to make it. You need soft shit. You believe in miracle that never existed. When you see someone that is hardworking and getting results, you are not jealous of him or her, and thinking, oh, I claim I want to be part of it. I will make it in whatever you believe, but it never works. It's not going to happen until you practice and act and do what exactly the person did, and you get the result. Wow. Until we connect to our positive consciousness. Without it, we are not going anywhere. It's not about preaching, copying from a book that you don't really understand the context. You just pick up, oh, it shall be well with me. It says, my problem I will solve. I will give you whatever. No, nobody's going to give you anything. If it's going to happen, Nigeria would have been the greatest. We have the biggest church. We have the biggest pastors. Why are they progressing? And what about the people going there and pray and fast?
Wow.
It's all about knowledge. Let us begin to connect. Let us begin to do the doings. Don't stop talking. It's high time we stop doing the talking. It's high time we're doing the practice. They say the action speaks louder than gunshots. It's all about action. At what point? Let's do the action so that our unborn, our little ones, our younger generation will learn from us. And then we make an impact. Thank you so much. That's my contribution. I thank you for this opportunity to express what I know. It's not what I think or what I saw. I am not trying to negotiate anything, but this is how it is. Reality. Until you hit reality, until reality hits you, you understand. Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Wow. Mr. Frank, you have taken us to the next level of this conversation. All right. Thank you for being in class today. To read. Okay. Action. Let's start doing. Enough of talk. All right. So it boils back to what I said at the beginning. The children learn from what they see. What are you showing? You cannot be sleeping on the bed up to this moment and you tell your child, oh, you are still sleeping. That is what contradiction. It's not going to work. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Frank. We're definitely going to, the part of the action is what we're doing now, is to begin to read and unlearn and change our mindset. Because if our mind didn't change, and how do you change your mind? Is based on what you feed your mind with. What are you feeding your mind with? Because is what? You know the process, like he said, is three things. Your thoughts beget your feelings. Your feelings beget your actions. So if you don't garbage in the right thought, your feelings are not going to be good and your actions are not going to align. So thoughts, feelings, and action. So watch your thought all the time. Don't find yourself in a place where the thought is wrong or is not realistic. Watch that person you know that is doing well. Ask them, how did you get here? Let me learn from you, not being jealous. Again, thought, feelings, and action. Action is the only thing we see. We don't see the person's thoughts. We don't see their feelings. It's only the actions that we see. Terry.
Yes, Dr. Ruth. This is Terry, and that's a French spelling. And I'm from Congo, so I'm calling you right now.
Congo people in the house today. That's amazing.
I know. So I'm calling from Michigan, and I just joined today, and I was invited by two young men, Mr. Junior and Mr. David. So they talked to me about this book club, and then this is very interesting. And I'm so pleased, at least, to have this community that awakening starting among us African. So my question is, because even though I've been in this country almost like 30 years now, and I'm just learning certain things, and a lot of things you say was just so true. So, but not to go far, my question is, because I'm just learning about creating trust, and then I was wonder if you know a book who you can recommend so I can look into it.
Okay, good. So text me offline 469 487
So you say 469
487
487
3469.
3469. Okay.
So trucks and wheels and all that, your estate planning, let's put it, the language is estate planning. Okay. It's something that everybody must engage in. But I always ask people to read first so you can know the right questions to ask.
Okay.
Okay. So you can know the right questions to ask. So there are so many books, but I like to read the law first. So that when I read the books, I'm able to validate the books based on the law. Okay?
Okay.
So reach out to those that invited you. They will give you additional information, but text me. I will have a little bit conversation more outside of here. All right?
Okay.
All right. Raw is our last. Okay, Raw and Alphonse is our last speaker for today.
Mommy, before Raw comes online, can you please give us the phone number again?
469.
Yes, ma'am.
487.
Yes, ma'am.
3469.
3469. Okay, thank you.
All right. Ro, go ahead.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Princess Dr. Ruth. Today is my first time.
Oh, wow. Welcome to
One
book
of
club. It's a social
Thank
club.
you. Thank
We're
you.
not representing any organization. We're not representing nobody. We're just reading here to change our mind.
Sure, sure. A friend of mine who's also on this platform right now sent me the link, so I joined, and I am glad that I joined today by hearing all these things. So I just want to add a little bit to it. You know, they say education has no end. This is what the doctor told me. And if you want to be updated, you're gonna keep reading. So, you know, recently I found about this is organization, WFG. I'm not gonna go a lot. So now I'm beginning to see meeting a lot of people. I'm sorry, I mentioned
Oh, okay. Let me
organization.
hold
This
you
is
there.
not,
Let me hold you there for compliance sake. We are not representing WG. We are inclusive. Anybody is allowed to come here and read. Okay?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Correct, point of correction. So, you know, I've been reading a lot lately, watching some videos, and I came across this man, Napoleon Hill. And he says in his one of his podcasts, he said, slavery has not changed its costume, but it has never left. The chains are no longer metal. They are made of routine of debt, of low expectations, of unexamined beliefs. And this is what's been going on. You know, a lot of people, we travel down to this country trying to live the American dream. Somehow we are not. But thank God, through education and meeting people, we are pointing into the right direction. Coming back to what you mentioned earlier, how we raising our children and all that. I'm one of those people who use why. And starting from today, I'm gonna be refraining from using why. So thank you very much. I send you my number so I can be added to the book club where I'll be able to come in regularly. So thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Roth, for joining us. We want to bring more of men to come here to read. If you all can help us invite, you can do a watch party book club where you gather the men in your church and say, today we are reading book that is not Bible, but we're reading book where people come and talk about the reality on ground. Okay, so join me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. I'm not very big, but just follow me, comment. The YouTube today is on. All the books we have read in the bath is on YouTube. All right, so the YouTube is on. We have Group Me Book Club. Then please, is inclusive, is a social club. We don't represent nobody. I know most people know me based on the operation of what I do aside there, but of course that is where the initiative came from. So I would never do anything without that credit there. But for compliance sake, we're not allowed to mention any of those. Okay. So thank you all so much for coming to training book club. The next one will be on the 21st, and we're going to start on what if I'm not insurable, page 82. And if you have not gotten your book, the next book we're going to read, please make sure you get it, is what your CPA isn't telling you. That's the next book we're going to read after this. What your CPA isn't telling you. It's been written by Mark J. Kohler. He's a CPA attorney at law. Okay. And invite your families, invite your friends. Like I said, it's open to the public. Invite your friends, invite your families. Let's rub mind. The ideas people share here is actually a book that's not written. So in this book club, we read books and we also read from those unwritten books. People's ideas and comments and knowledge are unwritten books. All right. I'm a licensed. What made me start this? This is my own community give back. I was looking for, it's not enough of preaching. I can't complain anymore. I had to start something. And thank God I had a mentor who believes in self-education. Based on that, that's how this ideology of book club came. Because before I joined the financial services, I do book club, but it was only for children. In about 2006, 2007, I did book club, but I do it only in summer for only children. So I said, oh, adults can read too. Let me make it open to the public. We started with about 6, 7 people. Today, this is where we are. Consistency, taking the action, doing the doings, like Mr. Frank said, is the key. So thank you, all of you, for coming here. I don't take your time here for granted. All of us are equal. When you begin to stay positive, read books. Tell yourself you're going to read 1 page a day. Tell yourself, a reader. Readers are leaders. Tell yourself, I must read in the 24 hours, I must read a page of a book a day. You don't have to read the books we are reading here, but a page of a book a day. Every day you read, I'm telling you, you will never be the same again. Never will you remain the same. So thank you so much. If you need help, go back to the person that sent you this Zoom link. Our book club Zoom remains the same. I think sometimes I make mistake and post the old one. The book club link remains. Don't wait for somebody to send it to you. It's the same until December 31st. We'll change it again.
Amen.
So every year it remains the same. So
Amen.
we'll not change it. Okay? So share it with your friends, your children, my children on this book club right now. Your spouse, your brothers, your uncles. If everybody are beginning to change their mindset, things will change. Okay? So thank you so much. I will see
When is the next reading date, Dr. Ruth?
March 21st.
Thank you.
March 21. Okay, 21st. The same Zoom link, the same time, 8 a.m. to 10. Can you imagine that an adult can actually sit down to read for 2 hours and discuss? So it means that it's possible. Don't worry about those people that say 20 minutes attention span. That is the so-called science that exists. Then those who have 10 hours of attention span, rule those who have 20 minutes of attention span. But when they watch Super Bowl, it's 4 hours, 5 hours. You're sitting down watching Super Bowl. No $1 enter your pocket. You sit down to watch television 4, 5 hours. But when it comes to reading or engaging in things, especially about your finance, some people say, I only have 15 minutes, I don't have time. But you have 4 hours to sit down, 5 hours to sit down to watch Super Bowl. My people, it's time for us to wake up.
Mommy, just to enforce what you are saying, there is this book I just started listening to. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Everything you spoke about today is in that book. It is even on YouTube. Those who don't like to read, they should go and look at it on YouTube. Before you even go into it for even 1.5 hours, I promise you, your mindset will change. Everything you spoke about today, little micro increments.
Who did you say was who is the author of that book, Atomic Habit, please?
James Clear.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Everything Mommy is saying is strongly reinforced. And the way she says, just even for 1 or 2 hours a day, or even 1 chapter a day, it is the same thing. If you want to break out of where you are and be better, that is the way to go. What Mommy is saying is golden. Listen to her. Thank you.
Thank you. Alphonse, I know that your hand has been up. Alphonse is going to close us out. Mr. Alphonse. Did I lose him? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you 21st.
Hello.
Don't come here alone. Yes, ma'am. All right. Don't come here alone. Come with someone. Let's read. Let's just read books. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
you,
much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you
Welcome.
very much.
Thank you,
Thank
says
you.
Dr. Ruth
God
Ifediora.
bless you. God bless you so much. Thank
Okay,
you.
Dr. Ruth.
Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Stop waiting for approval from others. If David had waited for approval from his brothers, he would never have faced Goliath. If Peter had waited for the sea to calm down, he would never have walked on water. If Abraham had waited for a full roadmap, he would never have left his homeland to follow God's promise. Genesis 12, verse 1 to 4. God rewards those who move in faith. The difference between success and regret. One day you will look back at your life, and there will be two things in your heart. Number one, satisfaction because you took action and lived out your purpose. Number two, regret because you let fear, doubt, and procrastination hold you back. Imagine standing before God and realizing that He had so much more for you, but you never stepped out to receive it. Imagine realizing that the doors you were praying for had already been unlocked. You just never turned the handle. God has given you everything you need, but He will not force you to move. 3 powerful steps to faith in action. If you're wondering where to start, here are 3 simple but powerful steps. Number 1, clarify your vision. Ask yourself, what is God calling me to do? If you don't know, spend time in prayer and reflection. Write down your goals. Make them clear. A vision that is not written down is just a dream. Habakkuk 2 verse 2 says, write the vision and make it plain. Number 2, take the first step. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. If you want to start a business, register the name. If you want to write a book, start with the first page. If you want to grow spiritually, commit to a deeper prayer life today. Stop overthinking. Stop overanalyzing. Start moving. Number 3, trust God with the process. You won't always have all the answers, but if you move in obedience, God will guide you. Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. The final call to action. So here's my question for you. What are you going to do with this message? Will you let it inspire you for a moment and then go back to life as usual? Or will you rise up, take action, and move toward your destiny? Because the truth is, no one else can live your purpose for you. No one else can step into your calling. No one else can achieve what God has placed inside of you. You must decide, will you be a person of faith and action? This is